What would you do if your daughter broke your one rule and ended up in the hospital? I sat at the kitchen table with my daughter Stephanie, her phone face down between us. She was 16 and testing every boundary I had ever set. This particular conversation had been coming for weeks. I don't understand why you're being so weird about this, Stephanie said, crossing her arms. Everyone skips school sometimes. It's not a big deal. I leaned forward and made sure she was looking at me. If your friends pressure you to skip school, the answer is no. Every single time. I don't care what excuse they give you or how fun it sounds. You say no. Stephanie rolled her eyes and picked up her phone. She started typing something, probably complaining to those same friends in a group chat. I'm serious, Stephanie. This isn't me trying to control you. She looked at me like I was overreacting to something imaginary when I said that. I wanted to explain everything, but she was already shutting down. Her jaw was set in that stubborn way that meant she had stopped listening 5 minutes ago. I tried anyway. Things happen when teenagers are unsupervised during school hours. Bad decisions get made. Just promise me you won't let anyone talk you into it. Stephanie stood up and grabbed her backpack off the counter. She muttered something under her breath that sounded like agreement, but probably wasn't. Then she walked out the door without saying goodbye. 3 weeks went by normally. Stephanie went to school, came home, did her homework in her room with the door closed. I thought maybe the conversation had actually worked. Then I got the call at 11 in the morning. It was from the hospital telling me there had been an accident on the highway. The victims were 3 teenagers who were skipping school. My daughter was one of them. I dropped my coffee mug in the sink and it shattered. I didn't stop to clean it up. The drive to the hospital took 19 minutes but felt like 19 hours. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip the steering wheel. I kept thinking about that rule. Don't skip school. She had promised me. She had looked me in the eyes and promised. When I got to the emergency room, a nurse took me to a room where a doctor was waiting. He had that expression people get when they're about to deliver bad news and they've already practiced the speech in their head. Your daughter was in the car that collided with a semi-truck on Route 40, he said carefully. The driver died at the scene. I heard the words, but they didn't connect to anything real. Someone died. A child died. One of Stephanie's friends was dead. The doctor kept talking. There was another girl in the front seat. The windshield shattered on impact and glass went into her eyes. She's in surgery right now, but we don't think she'll be able to see again. I tried to ask about Stephanie, but nothing came out of my mouth. The doctor kept talking. Your daughter was in the back seat, the doctor said. He looked directly at me when he said the next part. The impact caused severe trauma to her left arm. When the paramedics found her, her arm was barely attached to her body. We just finished surgery and we were able to save it, but there's going to be permanent damage. She'll need months of therapy, and she may never have full use of that arm again. The room was spinning. I put my head between my knees and tried to breathe. All I could think about was that conversation 3 weeks ago. Don't let your friends pressure you into skipping school. The answer is no. They let me see her 2 hours later. Stephanie was lying in the hospital bed with her left arm wrapped in bandages from shoulder to fingertips. Her face was gray, and there were tears running down her cheeks. She looked at me when I walked in and started crying harder. Mom, she whispered, Phoebe's dead. They said Phoebe's dead. I walked over and sat in the chair next to her bed. I wanted to yell at her or cry or demand to know why she had done this, but instead I just reached out and held her right hand. She squeezed my finger so hard it hurt. Rosa can't see, Stephanie sobbed. They said the glass cut her eyes and now she can't see anything. She's blind, Mom. She's blind. I looked down at my daughter's bandaged arm and thought about that conversation 3 weeks ago. The rule she had broken. The price she was going to pay for the rest of her life. I should have listened to you, Stephanie whispered. She was staring at her arm like she couldn't believe it was real. You tried to warn me and I didn't listen. I sat in the chair next to her bed and held her hand while she cried. There was nothing left to say. The lesson had already been learned the hard way.